beautiful pictures that are now coming in. Of course, you can see Rekha Gupta there, Diya Kumari, and we are looking at all of the top leaders there of the BJP. The BJP MP is also present there. Over to you, Pratibha. We are already getting the pictures of Rekha Gupta, who's arrived at the Ram Leela Maidan venue where the swearing-in ceremony is going to take place shortly. The leaders that are already reaching, you can see the pictures coming in of the Maharashtra CM, the UP deputy CMs who have already arrived. Ram Leela Maidan as is now slowly swelling up with the number of VVIP invitees that are now coming and taking their place.
BJP workers have been waiting for, and you can see all around me the BJP workers continuing to come in, and look at the women workers of the BJP. So we can see the women workers of the BJP at the forefront there with their saffron caps put on, and they are waiting for the Prime Minister to just arrive here. There are bhajans being sung here, patriotic songs, and interestingly they just sang Ram Aayenge. So the BJP talking about the Ram Mandir here, there were Jai Shri Ram chants that filled the entire air as the BJP workers continued to chant Jai Shri Ram. Big moment for the BJP workers, and in just a few minutes from now we are expecting the Prime Minister to come in as well. On the stage here we can see the top leaders who have started arriving already, and the religious leaders from all communities are also on the stage. If they are on the stage, on my left, on the right are all those who are part of the BJP success in the national capital. From the powerhouse of the country, from the national capital Delhi, the BJP wanting to send out a message to the Karyakartas and to the people across the country, the message of unity, and that's what we are seeing here with the BJP workers who are all lined up here waiting for this moment that they've been waiting for about 3 decades now. The cabinet has also been decided. Some of the powerful leaders of the BJP, known names like Parvesh Verma, Kapil Mishra, Manjinder Singh Sirsa are going to be in the cabinet. The BJP wanting to send out a message from the cabinet as well that all communities are going to get a voice, are going to get a representation. Remember, from the national capital, the BJP is also exerting its influence in the neighboring states. The impact that it will have in Haryana, the impact that it will have in Punjab, the impact that it will have in all of these regions. So the BJP is looking at giving out that message, including Ashish Sood. The speculations were that these were the frontrunners for the CM post. Ashish Sood, who has also been the co-in-charge of the BJP in Jammu and Kashmir, is also in the cabinet. Some of the cabinet members have already arrived there. We can see them sitting there on the stage. On the other hand here, we can see the BJP workers who continue to be here waiting for the Prime Minister to arrive. The Prime Minister's posters put all around. Let's also speak to some of our other reporters who are coming in, who are here to get us a mood on the ground. So Pradeep Datta is also with us. Let's get in a word from him. He's joined by a lot of women Karyakartas.
Pratibha there getting us all the live updates. This mega oath-taking ceremony is going to begin, viewers, in just a few moments from now. Those are the live visuals that we are bringing for you from the Ram Leela Maidan, where this mega ceremony, oath-taking ceremony of the new Chief Minister of the National Capital and other ministers in her cabinet is going to take place in just a few moments from now. There on the screens you can see Rekha Gupta, the CM designate. Let me now also go across to my colleague Madhav, who's joining us live right now. Madhav, it is a very, very important day because, you know, by picking Rekha Gupta as the chief ministerial candidate, BJP clearly is trying to send several messages, isn't it? Especially to the women voters. Can you explain to our viewers a little bit about the significance of Rekha Gupta as the chief minister of the
In fact,
national
I don't know if you can see, I can just show you, of course, right behind on this side, there's a huge crowd of those who are, in fact, BJP supporters. I can see dozens, if not hundreds of BJP flags that are actually there right behind me. And that's, of course, the huge turnout as far as the public is concerned. And, of course, this is the entire Ram Leela ground that you can see. Of course, Rekha Gupta herself arriving, top leaders, who are ministers arriving. But that's the scene here at the Ram Leela Maidan, where the entire set of BJP flags, hundreds of them, and BJP Karyakartas in droves have come out to attend this. It's a big day for the party because it's close to 3 decades since the BJP has come to power here in the national capital. Right here behind me, you can see a special stage that has been erected. Madhya Siksa, several other leaders of the party who are on the stage looking at the arrangements, and of course top leaders of the party who will be here in a short while from now. 6 ministers expected to, in fact, take the oath of office along with her. Saints who are also upon the stage, as you can see behind me. Those saints also will be upon the dais, but several personalities, including from film, several other important areas, who will be present to witness this very big day. As you rightly put it, Rekha Gupta herself, of course, a very interesting choice. Not just a woman who makes her the 4th woman chief minister of Delhi, but also the fact that she represents the Baniya community, which has traditionally supported the BJP and has also voted in larger numbers, given the fact that Arvind Kejriwal also represents a similar community. Very, very interesting pick as far as the chief ministerial face is concerned. And given her age of 50 years, she is one of the younger chief ministers of India. That also makes it quite an interesting choice in terms of her work cut out. But just look at her profile. She is somebody who's been a councillor 3 times over, knows really the things on ground and as to how things work in Delhi, and many of the issues that Delhi is dealing with, whether it is the kind of sewerage and the kind of flooding of Delhi streets that we saw, and even deaths related to that, or in fact even water related issues, pollution related issues. All of these issues at the core of it are civic issues. And as somebody who has served in the municipal corporation and has in fact been even the mayor of the South Delhi Municipal Corporation, perhaps someone who's very well equipped to tackle all of these issues. In terms of her own role as far as the Delhi government is concerned, it's the first time that she has entered the assembly, and therefore for a first time legislator to be given this kind of an opportunity is something that's very, very rare. So while she has her work cut out for her, remember that the BJP has promised a lot, not just in terms of the stipend to women in Delhi, but also the fact that we are looking at various issues, cleaning up the Yamuna, clean drinking water, pollution, several such issues that have been promised, and in terms of action. So the people will also be watching very closely to see whether she delivers as far as those promises are concerned. She has a tough task cut out for her, but it's really, of course, a massive day for the BJP, given that it's close to 3 decades since they have been in power here in the national capital and are now returning to it.
It's a huge opportunity for her and a big responsibility as well, given the fact that BJP has come to power after 27 long years in the national capital. Madhav, request you to stay on with us. Pratibha continues to be with us as well. Also joining us on the broadcast are my guests. We have Vivek Srivastava as well as JVC Sriram as well, joining us live this morning. Good morning to both of you. Vivek Srivastava, to you first. How will you like to respond to, Rekha Gupta being picked up as the chief minister for the national capital by the Bharatiya Janata Party? First time MLA, but somebody who comes with a lot of administrative experience in the past, and also the fact that she is a woman face, and an important message being sent by the BJP that when it comes to women empowerment, when it comes to Nari Shakti, BJP walks the talk.
No, I think it's a welcome move if we are having a woman chief minister. And I was just watching your program, and Bansiri Swaraj, who is a member parliament from Delhi, she also said that in the next parliament you will have more women representation because the women reservation bill will be actually practically applied. That's the first part. So we welcome it that a woman is going to become the chief minister of the city. However, good work has been done in the past by Mrs. Sheila Dikshit also, even Atishi for that matter. If I mention, she did make some contributions in the field of education, which everybody used to talk about in the media. So it's a welcome change. However, I feel from the BJP's perspective, they have taken 2 things in consideration. Number one, they wanted a woman face in the city. That is the first part. Secondly, the Vyapar Mandal of Aam Aadmi Party, which had the support of the, Agarwal Sanghs and the Bania community. They somehow wanted that to support the BJP. So, I mean, the choice of a Gupta for that was also, being considered. Because Arvind, primarily, he is from Hisar, Haryana, and a lot of business lobby with Bania dominance used to support the Aam Aadmi Party. A lot of funding used to take place. So probably that was also kept in mind that somehow the traditional vote bank of the Bharatiya Janata Party, which was the Vyaparis and the traders, that should remain intact. So I believe both the things were, see, if you see the politics of Delhi, then you have got three. You have the Purvanchali vote base, you have the Punjabi with the Sikhs vote base, and the third vote bank is the Jats and the Gujar community. So there are three vote banks which every party tries to appease when they want to come into power. Banias are more, have been conservatively more with the BJP.
Yes.
But in the last 10 to 12 years, this had shifted to the Aam Aadmi Party. Probably that was also a deciding factor. That is what I really feel.
Interesting. And in fact, we are getting live visuals as well. And we just saw Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan as well in the frame. He has also arrived for this mega oath-taking ceremony. More and more leaders are arriving. And in just a few moments from now, the oath-taking ceremony is going to begin. We have various chief ministers and deputy chief ministers of BJP-ruled states as well who have been invited for this ceremony. Manoj Tiwari of the BJP is reacting. Let's listen in. Okay, we'll get you that reaction in just a bit. And there you can see Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis on the stage. Let's go back to our guests who continue to be with us at this point in time. JVC Sriram, some interesting points made by Vivek Srivastava. But I want to talk to you specifically about Rekha Gupta and, the kind of strategy perhaps the Bharatiya Janata Party has used in picking her as the chief ministerial candidate, chief ministerial face for Delhi, even though it was Parvesh Verma who defeated Arvind Kejriwal, the Aam Aadmi Party chief, former chief minister of Delhi from the New Delhi constituency. Perhaps by picking up a face from the Bania community, a woman, BJP has tried to, send a big message to Aam Aadmi Party as well, to the women voters, and also has created a leader against Arvind Kejriwal from the same community, isn't it?
Good morning. I think, it's very important to realize the fact that it is only in a party like BJP that an ordinary Karyakarta who was born to probably a middle-class person, an SBI manager who was working in a bank and had no political dynasty connection, can become a chief minister of a state like Delhi. Yes, she is the second woman chief minister now, because we have Mamata Banerjee as the only woman chief minister in the country, and Bharatiya Janata Party, one of the blots have been that they've not been able to have a woman chief minister after Vasundhara Raje Scindia. So that's a big message. And I think we should not be speaking about the caste here, because the same my friend Vivek Srivastava would say when we were in studio dissecting the election, that Delhi is a class city and not a caste city. So to identify as Bania, Jat and all those stuff right now is not the right thing. Okay. It is basically an woman empowerment. The manifesto of BJP had been women-centric, and there are a lot of civic issues which has to be addressed. And Rekha Gupta, being a three-time councillor, she had worked as also a mayor of the city, understands the challenges and problems and issues which are plaguing Delhi, and she is a street-smart politician. She can come to the streets and fight, and she is somebody who can give a counter to every move by Arvind Kejriwal and his fake, narrative-setting politicians, and as a result of which, this is a master stroke, and every Karyakarta in BJP must be very proud that it is only in such kind of a party and not a dynasty party where any common person can aspire to become the chief minister, even though she herself said she was not even thinking that she could become the chief minister. That is the power of common Karyakarta in BJP, which one need to understand.
Interesting.
And
so you're
also,
calling it a master stroke by the BJP, a message to the Karyakarta as well, that if they work hard, if they stay with the party with a lot of sincerity, I mean, tomorrow anybody can become the chief minister of any state. I mean, an important point you've made, JVC Sriram. I'm just interrupting you there, requesting you to stay on with us. We're getting live visuals as well. We just had a visual of Swati Maliwal as well reaching there. Now we have some breaking updates coming in. As per the security protocol, the Delhi CM designate Rekha Gupta has been given Z-grade security cover from the Delhi police. That's the latest update coming in. Her security cover has been upgraded because now she is going to be the Chief Minister of the national capital. Let me now go across to my colleague Pratibha, who is live with us right now. She is currently at the Ramlila Maidan, where this oath-taking ceremony is going to happen. Pratibha, over to you. Tell us what's happening around you.
हजारों की तादाद में लोग बाहर खड़े, उनको अंदर आने दीजिए भाई साहब सबको। यार जितने लोग बीच में खड़े आप भी सामने पीछे के बैठे भैया, पीछे लोगों को दिखेगा नहीं जो बैठे हैं।
नहीं हम ले रहे।
Okay, we'll go across to Pratibha in just a bit, but viewers, those are the visuals that we are getting for you where the dignitaries have already started arriving. Okay, Pratibha is back with us. Pratibha, over to you. Tell us what's happening.
BJP government taking oath in the national capital. Look all around and you can see a lot of the BJP workers who have arrived here. They've been waiting here very, very eagerly for that moment, the big moment of the oath-taking ceremony, which will begin shortly. Now, in just a short while from now, the dignitaries will come in. The Prime Minister is also expected to come in shortly. And the atmosphere here is electric, much bigger than a concert for the BJP Karyakartas who have been waiting here for so long. There are patriotic songs and bhajans being played, Modi chants that are playing out here, and we are seeing here the BJP workers are continuing. The BJP workers are chanting Bharat Mata Ki Jai as well as Modi chants. So all around me you can see the BJP workers eagerly waiting, BJP flags all around in the iconic Ramlila Maidan. In just a short while from now the Prime Minister will be coming in, and the BJP workers have been waiting outside as well. So as much a common man event as it is a VIP event for the BJP, it's a big moment. A woman chief minister is going to take over. They have a vision for the next 5 years to make the national capital the model capital, as they have been saying, double engine Sarkar in Delhi, and they are going to ensure that there will be development taking place from the roads to the Yamuna cleaning to the welfare schemes reaching every person in the city. The BJP has set its eyes on the promises that it has made to the people of Delhi, and that's what we are going to see happen in the next 5 years. That's what the excitement of the Karyakartas speak about what to expect in the next 5 years in the national capital. A lot of promises have been made. It's about delivering those promises now.
Well, absolutely. It is going to be about delivering on the promises that the Bharatiya Janata Party has made. The reason why the people of the national capital have trusted the Bharatiya Janata Party to govern them for the next 5 years. Pratibha, stay on with us. Let me go across to my colleague Madhav as well. Madhav, now, you know, as we were discussing earlier, the task is cut out for the BJP in the national capital. And can you also talk to our viewers a little bit about, Team Rekha that is going to also be taking oaths today, the important names.
In fact, before I have my colleague Pragya with me as well, but before I go across to Pragya, I just want to show you, this is the stage behind me. You can see several of the top ministers who are there up on the stage. You have Virendra Sachdeva, the man who led the party through this entire election. You have Manjinder Sirsa, you have Kapil Mishra as well as several other of those who are going to take that oath of office. You can see Basri Swaraj as well, who had a very important role to play as far as the party's own strategy as far as this election and campaign is concerned. There is of course saints on one side, and just about half an hour from now we expect the LG and other top leaders to be present as far as this massive oath-taking ceremony is concerned. If we can just pan the camera around and show you, the entire Ramlila ground is virtually a sea of BJP flags. You can see saffron green and the white lotus emblazoned flags which are fluttering across Ramlila Maidan in hundreds if not thousands, and that's of course a huge moment of excitement for the party workers itself. Remember that BJP has always played an important role, whether it was the Congress in power, whether it was the Aam Aadmi Party in power. The BJP has had its vote base and cadre, which has been intact, but it has never been able to convert this into a victory for the past 27 years. And that is why this victory is so sweet for the party itself. And let me take this across to Pragya. Pragya was in fact one of the first reporters, if not the first reporter, to speak to Rekha Gupta yesterday. For the party, Pragya, there are two aspects of looking at it. One, a long period of drought after close to 3 decades that they're coming to power. They were always in opposition. They've never managed to convert it into victory. But Rekha Gupta herself, the choice for the chief minister is very interesting because she's somebody who's been a councillor. She understands problems at a grassroots level, has also been a mayor of the South Delhi Municipal Corporation, and therefore, given that Delhi's problems are largely civic in nature, is someone who's very well poised to tackle those problems.
You're absolutely right on that count, Madhav, and I would say someone who is a thorough organizational person. She has been chosen as chief minister, and in fact, the main civic problems were the reason why Aam Aadmi Party has been voted. BJP also feels that, be it dirty water, be it broken roads, be it dilapidated buildings, be it wastage, garbage, etc. These were some problems that were actually troubling Delhiites, and this is the reason why party has chosen someone who has risen the rank. She had been councillor, she had been mayor, she know how system works, and she had been a general secretary in the national level also. Mahila Morcha, obviously a very large message to the women voters, I would say. They had been voting continuously for BJP. This is very interesting, Madhav, because every time those who know BJP very well, in fact Delhi BJP, people used to say if someone is Mahila Morcha chief, she is not so relevant at all. That was a kind of attitude that they had towards Mahila Morcha particularly, and this is the time when Mahila Morcha has gained significance. And Prime Minister has time and again focused on how women needs to be in politics. They need to spearhead, in fact, politics. And this is one message that has been sent across to opposition. Remember, be it Rahul Gandhi or someone in opposition, they always targeted RSS. They always targeted BJP for being anti-women. And RSS, she has roots in RSS. She came from ABVP. In fact, a few days before when we were in the RSS office, she was there after, winning the elections. So she has still roots in RSS. She is very much a RSS person. So all of that taken into consideration.
Interestingly, 2 points that I'm gathering from what you've just told me. After what you see in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, it is generational change. It is somebody from the grassroots who's picked up and given the post of chief minister. And for all the talk of BJP and RSS not being on the same page, there is a clear message being sent out for all those who are, putting out those views as well.
Absolutely. Some smaller karyakarta, insignificant maybe in some scheme of things, but he or she has a chance to become a chief minister. But this is different in case of Delhi because she had been working continuously on the ground. She has been in the organizational. She donned many hats. She has been General Secretary of National Mahila Morcha also. She worked among self-help groups. She had been working for them, and she also knows ideology of the party, which is very important. And she knows what the BJP and the Prime Minister wants for Delhi. This is national capital. This is not so any other state, and this is why Prime Minister also said that this Delhi needs to be seen and looked as a national capital of the country, which it was not during Aam Aadmi Party time, is what the allegation of BJP was. Now the very microscopic way they will be dealt with. Every action of theirs will be seen, very scrutinized by the top brass as well. They need to deliver on ground what the top brass has in mind, a vision for Delhi. And this is why everyone is saying we need to beautify Delhi. We need to have infrastructure in Delhi.
I'm just interrupting you there.
Thank you. Please.
There you can see viewers in the visuals, Rekha Gupta, the CM designate, who is going to be taking oath in just a few moments from now. My colleagues Madhav, Pragya as well as Pratibha have been getting us all the live updates from the Ram Leela Maidan where this mega ceremony is going to take place. Even as we stay with these live visuals, let me go across to my guests who continue to be with us at this point in time, Vivek Srivastav as well as JVC Sriram. Now, JVC Sriram, talking about how, as you were calling it earlier, a master stroke clearly by the Bharatiya Janata Party, a clear message not just to the Karyakarta but to the women voters as well. And I was just looking at the stats here. I mean, if you see, on one hand, we are talking about women empowerment across the country in the field of politics specifically. Look at Delhi. It's got 9 chief ministers. Out of 9, 4 have been women, if we include Rekha Gupta. And is isn't it, different from all other states in the country?
Certainly, yes. I think one of the longest serving chief ministers had been Sheila Dikshit. And we need to understand that one more thing which we need to understand is that Atishi was brought in as an interim chief minister. In fact, I could say that right from the beginning, I've been saying that BJP, AAP has to get 55% of women votes to come to power. And AAP failed to get that. One of the reasons is because the women in Delhi felt that Atishi was being used as a stopgap arrangement, an interim chief minister, and eventually because Aam Aadmi Party did not say that Atishi would be the CM if they win again. They went back to Kejriwal. In fact, she did the drama of putting a chair and saying that I will not sit in the chair and this is reserved for Arvind Kejriwal. So that is also one of the reasons why women did not vote lock, stock, barrel and for AAP, which they did in 2015 and 2020. So as a result of which, BJP has decided that this is the time because Delhi accepts women chief minister. History says that Sushma Swaraj, Rekha Gupta, and BJP needs to have a woman chief minister face because they have a deputy chief minister in Rajasthan and now they have a chief minister in Delhi and that's a perfect one to have. And no more Rahul Gandhi can say RSS discriminates against women, BJP discriminates against women. Absolutely no. All these fake narratives will fall flat because she comes from ABVP background, she comes from the RSS stable, and she is from the grassroots organization. And by ensuring that a woman leads Delhi, the message is given loud and clear, not only to its own karyakartas, but also the opposition party, particularly the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party.
Interesting. Vivek Srivastava, will you like to respond to what JVC Sriram mentioned? Because questions time and again are raised on the role of the RSS and now you have a woman chief minister for the national capital.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with JVC as per his predictions. Even I was with him on the election day as to how the women voters and the male voters are reacting differently. And he had given us a very detailed analysis. I totally agree with him and that is how it has turned out. Even yesterday in Navika's show, the same data was being reflected by you. So no doubt about it. However, I mean, things are not very easy for her. You have various segments, various groups and factions in the Delhi BJP, which will be at work. So it is not going to be a cakewalk with her. A very strong opposition. I mean, let's not count out. There are 22 seats with the Aam Aadmi Party. So no doubt they have played a good card when they chose a woman chief minister. But things are not very easy as they seem. I mean, Pravesh Verma and his group of people are not very happy and we know about it. And same for Vijender Gupta, who's just on the adjoining constituency of Rohini and he has been the Adhyaksh of the Bharatiya Janata Party in the past. So a lot of factionism is expected. Let us see how it works out. We all hope for the best because ultimately she is my chief minister also since I am a citizen of the city. And yes, I agree with JVC that caste and class is not the way. I said it on my own, Delhi votes. But however, when you start giving selective benefits, Sahib Singh Verma, when he became the chief minister of Delhi, I still remember he was instrumental in making the Jat and the Gujar community join the BJP in a very big way. Right. And he used to win from Mundka and North Delhi. So there are segments like that. Maninder Singh Sirsa's coming has definitely contributed a big way into the Punjabi and especially the Sikh votes. The Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee is actively, this time I must say that instead of the traditional Congress that they support, they supported the BJP. So a lot of things are in fray. Things will be very clear, but it will take at least 6 months for us to see how it goes off.
Okay.
I think it is going to be a very tough walk for the present chief minister because I also feel that in BJP, a lot of frictions will be done.
Okay. Let me take that point across to JVC Sriram as well. JVC, interesting points Vivek Srivastava has made. And one thing that he said, and I want you to focus on that aspect, he said that the opposition is going to be quite strong in Delhi. The politics for Delhi is going to be very interesting because first time we are going to see Aam Aadmi Party in the opposition in the national capital. He believes that it's going to be a strong opposition that Aam Aadmi Party is going to give to the BJP. Now, Rekha Gupta as the chief minister will have to, deliver on Modi ki guarantee. Remember, that was the promise that the BJP has made to the people of Delhi.
Thank you very much, Vivek ji, for concluding with my points. See, the point is that Delhi has been in a very bad shape for the last 10 years. So as a result of which, any chief minister who takes over has their role cut out. I'm not saying it is an easy job, but history shows us that while other parties face a huge amount of anti-incumbency, BJP rides on pro-incumbency. Let us look at, say, a state like Haryana. Let us look at a state like Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh. Even Chhattisgarh, one term Congress was able to rule and they immediately lost. So if there is one party which can fix issues, then it has to be Bharatiya Janata Party in Delhi. And I have to tell this, there is no excuse. Yes, the opposition is going to be big. There is no excuse for BJP not to deliver at Delhi. Mind you, Delhi gave 7 MPs to BJP in 2014, 2019 and 2024. BJP MLAs and Rekha Gupta and her team has a very, very important responsibility. If BJP has to come back in Delhi in 2029 with 7 Lok Sabha seats. Anything which is not delivered by Rekha Gupta and her team, let me tell you, it will have repercussions in the Lok Sabha elections.
Well, important point you have made, because definitely this is what the BJP wanted. They wanted this double engine sarkar in Delhi as well. They've got it. It's time for them to deliver. Of course, the task is cut out for Rekha Gupta. Stay on with us, JVC Sriram as well as Vivek Srivastava. Let me quickly go across to my colleague Pratibha as well, who's live right now from the Ram Leela Maidan, where the oath-taking ceremony, viewers, is going to begin in just a few moments from now. Pratibha, over to you.
कि आगे आने की कोशिश ना करें, आगे बिल्कुल फुल है, तो बिल्कुल जगह नहीं है, इसलिए थोड़ा पीछे होते हुए जो पीछे कुर्सियां खाली हैं आप वहां प्लीज बैठें। रास्ते में जो लोग खड़े हैं वो भी आकर सामने की दीर्घाओं में अपना स्थान ग्रहण कर लें। इस बात के लिए निवेदन है और से इस बात के लिए बार-बार निवेदन है कि अपनी सुरक्षा जांच पूरी करने में।
Okay, we'll go across to Pratibha in just a bit, but those are the live visuals, viewers, that we are getting for you right now. My colleague Madhav is also live with us. Madhav, over to you. We can see on the stage chief ministers, deputy chief ministers of various BJP as well as NDA ruled states.
सांस्कृतिक परंपराओं का सुंदर दृश्य जब हम देख पा रहे थे इन सड़कों पर लोगों के आते हुए, तो वो उत्साह।
Well, absolutely, and in fact, you can see the stage is full up with several of the leaders, allies of the NDA. If I can camera person to just pan and show you over there, we can see Ajit Pawar, we can see, of course, Sushil Kumar Shinde, Devendra Fadnavis. Behind that, we can see Keshav Prasad Maurya from Uttar Pradesh. Several other CMs and deputy CMs from different states. Pramod Sawant, of course, BJP Chief Minister from Goa. Pawan Kalyan is also present on stage. You can see Praful Patel of the NCP present. Anupriya Patel, of course, an ally who's part of the union government present over there. So from different parts of the country, all the allies as well as top BJP leaders who are present on stage. Chandrababu Naidu also on stage over there, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister. So big moment here for not just the BJP, but also for the NDA is the big message going out, and that's the big message going. Let me take this across to Pragya. Pragya, very important messaging over here. We have seen whenever there are, such swearing-in ceremonies, it is not just seen as a BJP event, but there are efforts taken to show that it is the NDA together that is surging ahead in the country, and it's no different now.
You are absolutely right on this count, and I would say before Lok Sabha 2024, there was a concerted effort from Prime Minister Narendra Modi to ensure that all the old allies will come back to the fold. In fact, India allies that time, if you remember, they were surging ahead. They were saying we were a very formidable force, and this is exactly the time when NDA decided that we need to have our allies back. And this is also a show of strength at a time when NDA allies are speaking against each other on every issue, and even most of them have not even campaigned for Congress in Delhi. They had allied with Aam Aadmi Party, which is a new ally to India alliance. This particular picture speaks volumes about the alliance that NDA is running right now. Remember when the 2024, when the government was in power, everyone was saying it is only for a matter of 1 or 2 years. they will not stay for longer. They have their own aspirations, and this alliance is not there for to stay for a longer period of time. But here they are supporting Prime Minister Narendra Modi, supporting BJP-ruled government, and showing a picture of solidarity and having a cohesive form of unity that they're showing right now here against India Alliance, which looks like a fragmented section today.
I want to also ask you another very important question. We all know how the BJP talks about double-engine government. In Delhi, you have the government at the center and the government at the state. In Delhi, it's very important because of the kind of fights that we've been seeing between the center and the state. That hopefully will be a thing of the past now, that it is the same party ruling at the level of center and of the state. But there is a third aspect of the corporation where the BJP has been increasing its strength, and they're about a dozen odd seats away from actually getting a clear majority, in which case it could possibly be a triple-engine government. What's the possibility of that happening?
A lot, Madhav. In fact, I would say, it is already largest party in corporation now after the defection from Aam Aadmi Party. And in fact, most of the funding of the corporation depends on the Delhi government. So Delhi government actually influences whatever happens in corporation. So it is very likely that even the Aam Aadmi Party councillor, they need fund for their boards, and they would likely to cooperate with the Delhi government. So even if there is no, triple engine sarkar as of now, in principle, in working, at least in operations, it will be triple engine sarkar. And this is exactly what that BJP is trying to achieve here. If corporation doesn't do it, then Delhi government will do it. The funding will come from center. There are many schemes that is given to the Delhi. In fact, that has been not implemented by Arvind Kejriwal government. So all of that will be sorted out. In fact, very interestingly, LG, before all these, they are going to be sworn in. But before that, when they all win, LG called each one of the MLAs separately and asked, what are the tasks that you want to accomplish in your area, and we will be more forthcoming with you because we want you to serve the people. And this is the kind of relationship that LG office and Delhi government will have now, and corporation will have to fall in line.
Absolutely. So it will be very interesting to see how things happen on ground. No excuses in terms of governmental interference or officers or the services not being under the charge. It is, of course, going to be the same party in charge, and a lot of promises to the people of Delhi that have been made. Will those promises be delivered, and how quickly will they all be delivered? All of these are going to be issues that the people of Delhi are going to look forward to.
Absolutely. And we just got visuals of Defence Minister Rajnath Singh also arriving at the venue. There you can see Chandrababu Naidu as well, along with other chief ministers and deputy chief ministers of BJP as well as NDA ruled states. Let me also now go across to Dr. Anand Ranganathan, who's joining us on the broadcast as well. Good afternoon, Dr. Ranganathan. Thank you for speaking with us here on Times Now. As my colleagues Madhav as well as Pragya were discussing just now, that how it is also going to be a show of unity as far as NDA is concerned. Now it is the same venue, the Ramlila Maidan, where ahead of Lok Sabha elections last year, we saw INDIA bloc trying to present this show of unity. They have come together many a times on a stage, but we know on one hand, INDIA is imploding, and then you have NDA that is strengthening each passing election.
Good afternoon. Actually, not just the India Alliance gathering at Ramlila Maidan, but I have to say this, that, there is this adage called elephants can remember. And I think BJP has behaved like one, because if you remember, Ramlila Maidan was the place where Arvind Kejriwal's career actually began 14 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I think 2011, almost to the month, when he, held his meetings at Ramlila Maidan, and we know the rest is history. BJP knows how to complete the circle. And today, all those claims of Arvind Kejriwal lie 6 feet under the very same Ramlila Maidan. Be that as it may, this is not a time for tutu meme as far as politics is concerned. My congratulations to Ms. Gupta. She has her task cut out. It is an ominous outlook as far as Delhi is
Dr.
concerned.
Anand Ranganathan, I'm just interrupting you there, request you to stay on with us. Let me go back to Madhav, because there are more updates coming in. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is also on the stage.
जिन करोड़ों बहनों के माताओं के जीवन में आशा का संचार किया
All right.
स्वास्थ्य के लिए उनके अंदर
Yes, in fact, you can see on stage, if you can quickly pan on stage and show you, we've seen Defense Minister Rajnath Singh on stage over there. We're seeing Lalan Singh of the JDU also present on that particular stage, and several such leaders. But very interestingly, if the camera can just pan and show you, there is also an interesting presence of Swati Maliwal, who's on the stage over here, that you can see on the extreme left side of it, right next to several of the legislators and leaders from Delhi. Interesting to see, Pragya, that Swati Maliwal is on an official BJP platform, though technically she is still a member of parliament in Rajya Sabha from the Aam Aadmi Party.
You're absolutely right, and this is for the first time that she has officially come on the stage of BJP. In fact, Aam Aadmi Party has been leveling this allegation that she is working on behest of the BJP, and all the allegations that have come on CM office was at the behest of BJP. She has denied all these allegations, and in fact, she had worked as a third party in the elections. If we had seen, she had gone to Mr. Kejriwal's house with all the garbage truck and dumping it there. So she was actually working as an opposition, but this is for the first time, Madhav, very important. She is Aam Aadmi Party MP from Rajya Sabha, and she is for the first time sharing stage, with the BJP MPs here. In a way, she has not joined BJP, but it looks like she is on their side now.
Her issue was one issue on which the BJP very strongly opposed the Aam Aadmi Party government. It was a very, very important issue, particularly highlighting the manner in which women are treated in the Aam Aadmi Party is what the BJP said. And that happened just about 6 months to 8 months before the elections here in the national capital.
Yes, and they took it very seriously, and they in fact ensured all the help that Swati Maliwal would need. This is very, they speak about women's safety, and also Aam Aadmi Party came into the power on issue of women's safety, if you remember, not just corruption but women's safety as well. They spoke highly about it, and it is, BJP got a chance. It got that issue on the platter when Swati Maliwal alleged that she was assaulted inside the Chief Minister's residence. No place else but inside the residence of Chief Minister where he was also present. So this is a very big issue for the BJP, and women's safety and security. It is a metropolitan city we live in. People are very sensitive, very aware of the safety, security of their girls, of their wives. Also work late night because everyone goes out, and if the Chief Minister residence is not safe for any woman.
Amit Shah is in fact arriving in a short while from now. I believe he's going to come up on the stage any minute now. His convoy has arrived here at the Ram Leela Maidan, and very important, it is the Home Minister. Next it's the Prime Minister, so we can expect in about 10 to 15 minutes the formal part of the swearing-in ceremony and the oath that is to be administered by the LG. And you can see the Raj Niwas, in fact, dais there that is on the stage, where in fact the formal part of the oath-taking ceremony is to happen. But today, the action does not end over here. There is going to be a meeting of the cabinet, and we understand there are several meetings also that are scheduled to today. Take us through what we can expect today, Pragya.
So after that, they are going to have a lunch with Prime Minister at Imperial Hotel. This is what we get to know. They might have their first cabinet as well, because all the ministers will also be taking oath. So the message that we want to send out is that we will start working from the first day, and this is not a vacation for us, because this is not something that we will enjoy, power that we will enjoy. We are here to serve the people. This is the message that Prime Minister has sent to each one of them, and this is exactly what they should be keep seeing doing. So the perception is also very important. They need to also deliver, and now that LG is also, very forthcoming with the work that they will be, wanting to do. And in fact, there is also a set agenda that has been sent to them. They have to ensure that they start working on Yamuna cleaning. They have to work on.
All right, and that's Home Minister Amit Shah there on the stage. Let's quickly pan and show you Home Minister Amit Shah. Of course, somebody is very important. Of course, JP Nadda, BJP President, also there on the stage. An important message going out of the unity of the NDA, also Chandrababu Naidu in front with them, and that's the kind of message that is being sent out here from the stage over here at the Ram Leela Maidan. The arrival now that is expected of the Prime Minister in a short while from now, that's what we're looking forward to. And the Prime Minister himself has had a very, very important role to play. Very, very important, not just from the perspective of campaigning, but also in terms of the narrative. For instance, when Arvind Kejriwal spoke about poison being poured into the Yamuna and people of Delhi being poisoned, it was a Prime Minister's strong counter that many believe was a massive turning point as far as this campaign is concerned. So PM will continue to be the biggest face for the BJP, not just in this election, but also in coming elections. We'll talk about Bihar, Bengal.
You're absolutely In fact, when Kejriwal made the statement about poisonous water, in fact, if you look at the geography of Delhi, there is Rajavgarh, there is Rohini, all of them are adjoining Haryana. And in fact, people who are working here in Delhi, they also belong to Haryana. So this is also a sentiment that has been hurt, and this is why Nayab Singh Saini has been made to issue a statement about it. And he came to Yamuna and also drank water, if you remember. Those visuals were very powerful. And not just that, Prime Minister also wanted each of them to know that we are here to work, and that is why he had given that Aapada name to Aam Aadmi Party, which is still being used by every...
That's stuck in the BJP campaign.
Absolutely, that's stuck, and that is being used by every union minister, every MLA and every BJP worker for that matter, that we need to take out Aapada, which means they were a disaster to Delhi, they did nothing, and there was no infrastructure in place. They kept on blaming centre. You know, the problem, Madhav, with Aam Aadmi Party was that they kept on saying that centre is not letting them work. People would not want excuses. People want delivery on your promises. So you find a way to ensure that you deliver your promises. Now the people started saying if centre would not let you do the work, then we'll vote in a government. That centre will let the government work. So that is also backfired on Aam Aadmi Party in a way. No sympathy that he could score there. And this is exactly the reason why Aam Aadmi Party did in assembly election. And this is the reason why we are seeing BJP to power after 27 years. A very long time that was.
Absolutely. Very, very long time. But look at the kind of excitement amongst the cadre over here. This is an excitement that we perhaps not seen in the last 27 years. Because they have been there working on ground. And as we were talking earlier, the cadre has actually been active. The BJP has actually had a strong presence in opposition.
Right. Madhav and Pragya, request you to stay on with us as we are continuously getting these live visuals from the Ramlila Maidan. On your screens right now is CM designate Rekha Gupta. Home Minister Amit Shah has already arrived along with BJP President JP Nadda sitting on the stage, sharing the stage with other chief ministers and deputy chief ministers of various BJP as well as NDA ruled states. We've got Defence Minister Rajnath Singh also sitting on the stage. And viewers, yesterday, Home Minister Amit Shah had put out a post on social media platform X saying, have full faith that you will work with dedication, confident that you will make Delhi one of the top capitals. So clearly, there is a lot of responsibility on the shoulders of Rekha Gupta as the Chief Minister of the national capital. And there you can see Chandrababu Naidu also sitting next to BJP President JP Nadda. Show of unity there as far as NDA is concerned. Joining us on the broadcast are my guests. We have JVC Sriram, we have Dr. Anand Ranganathan, and Tehseen Poonawalla is also now joining us on the broadcast. Good afternoon to all of you. Dr. Ranganathan, I had to interrupt you earlier, but we're getting live visuals of this mega show of strength. But I want to talk to you about the CM pick and the message that the BJP, in your opinion, is trying to send for, the people of Delhi and across India.
It's very difficult to actually think of a message given the past predicament of or antecedents what happens when Mr. Modi chooses a chief minister. I dare say half the BJP cadre would still not be able to name the BJP chief ministers of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh or other states, Haryana or Rajasthan. Be that as it may, I think it's a welcome change. A new face, a fresh face is always very good news. Plus, let's also think of what Delhi has done under a woman chief minister. I would say maximum progress was made under Ms. Sheila Dikshit. The point is, Ms. Rekha Gupta vows to carry that on. Delhi needs a woman chief minister who can think of all the concerns of the women, especially, and I was quite heartened to see Ms. Swati Maliwal on the stage as well. So I think maybe she will be given a very prominent role because, yes, she has done more than many to expose the deviousness of the previous regime when it came to women empowerment, when it came to the rights for women, when it came to exploitation of women. I mean, the assault on Ms. Maliwal happened in the Chief Minister's house. And can I just say, even before taking the oath, Ms. Gupta has already made one of the best decisions I can think of, which is she said she's not going to stay in that quote-unquote sheesh mahal. I think that's the best thing. If I'm not mistaken, today in the morning, her comment is she's going to convert it into a museum. If that is the case, I would request Times Now team and to take me along. I would really want to see that 12 lakh commode and the toilets.
Well, we'll definitely keep that in mind if that really happens. But clearly, Sheesh Mahal did play a very, very important role as far as the Delhi election campaign is concerned. Dr. Ranganathan, request you to stay on with us. Let me go across to Tehseen Poonawala as well. Tehseen, what are your thoughts this morning? And specifically, how, Rekha Gupta, a woman has been picked up by the BJP to make make her the Chief Minister of the national capital. And out of about 9 odd chief ministers that Delhi has seen, she's going to be the 4th woman CM, something that we haven't really seen in other states or union territories so far.
So thank you so much for having me on the show. At the onset, I would like to wish Rekha Gupta ji all the best. She has a massive task in front of her, particularly from the misgovernance of Aam Aadmi Party, which this Delhi elections was a vote against. I do think that there are 2 or 3 things that as a political analyst, when I analyze the BJP, I see. First, that it's great to be a first-time MLA in the BJP, be it Bhupendra Patel ji, Bhajan Lal Sharma ji, or now even Rekha Gupta ji. If you're a first-time MLA, chances of you becoming a chief minister are high in the BJP. So that is great. It also ticks all the boxes that the BJP wanted. They wanted the Bania vote. She's a woman. It goes against the nepotism thing. She's been associated with the ABVP. So I think it works perfectly for the BJP. It's a good thing. The question now is that in a lot of sense, this vote in Delhi for the BJP was against the Aam Aadmi Party, but also for Prime Minister Modi, who stuck his credibility and he said, allow him an opportunity to serve. So we know that the Chief Minister's office will be run by the PMO. What can she do?
Tehseen, apologies, I'm just interrupting you there because we're getting live visuals. Let's go across to my colleague Madhav for more. Madhav.
ऊर्जा के साथ
In fact, arriving on stage while from now, yes, you can see from there.
ऊर्जा के साथ
Expected on the stage here. All those on the dais clapping in anticipation of the Prime Minister's arrival right here at the Ram Leela Maidan. A big day indeed for the Prime Minister as well, for all those who have been part of the entire campaign here in the national capital. We can see, of course, not just Rekha Gupta and her soon-to-be cabinet ministers who are on the stage, but also the virtual who's who of the NDA. And the Prime Minister there arriving along with the Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena upon the stage. Of course, the Prime Minister...
Madhav, we're having a bit of an audio trouble out there. We are getting live visuals and there you can see Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived. He's on the stage right now, greeting, the chief ministers and deputy chief ministers of various BJP as well as NDA ruled states, sharing a moment with all of them, greeting them one by one. And those are the live visuals that we can see from the Ram Leela Maidan, where the oath-taking ceremony of the new Chief Minister of Delhi is going to take place there. Prime Minister Modi and Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu having a quick conversation there. They shook hands as well. And then Prime Minister greeting other union ministers as well who have also come for this ceremony. There you can see Prime Minister waving at the crowd there, and clearly it is a moment that the BJP, we can say, has been waiting for the last 27 years, and after a lot of effort, finally they managed to win the trust, the vote of the national capital, of the people of Delhi, and that it is a moment to celebrate, and that's what we are seeing right now, this mega show of unity in Ram Leela Maidan. And there Prime Minister bowing in front of the seers as well, who have come from different communities. And now in just a few moments the ceremony is going to begin. Around 50,000, that was the number of Karyakarta, we were told, who are going to be attending this ceremony in person at Ram Leela Maidan. Let's listen in to what's happening there.
समय पर ही हम राष्ट्रगान की शुरुआत करेंगे, कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत होगी, लेकिन ये ऊर्जा और ये उल्लास आप सबका बना रहना चाहिए। वंदे 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 भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की। ये घोष, ये उद्घोष सिर्फ देश नहीं, सिर्फ दिल्ली नहीं, बल्कि पूरी दुनिया आज इसका साक्षी बन रही है। और आप सब जो यहाँ बैठे हैं इसका साक्षी बन रहे हैं और आपके माध्यम से और तमाम अलग अलग प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर देश और दुनिया भर के लोग दिल्ली में इस नए इतिहास स्वर्णिम युग की शुरुआत का साक्षी बन रहे हैं। ईश्वर की असीम कृपा से आज दिल्ली एक नए इतिहास और स्वर्णिम इतिहास की रचना के लिए आगे बढ़ रही है देवियों सज्जनों। और इसमें इस देश की और इस दिल्ली के तमाम हमारे लाखों युवा, महिलाएं, अन्नदाता, किसान, गरीब, मजदूर सभी शामिल हैं और ये अवसर हम सब के लिए बहुत विशेष है।
Modi there, the program is going to begin in just a few moments from now. But what was interesting is that when Prime Minister came to the stage, he greeted not just those who were in the front row, he went to the rows behind as well and met all other dignitaries as well, the union ministers, chief ministers from other states too.
जीवन में जो खुशी और उल्लास की किरण नजर आती है और भविष्य को लेकर एक सपना जो जागता है वो बड़ा अद्भुत है। जब इस देश में सैकड़ों की संख्या में जब हमारे विश्वविद्यालय खुलते हैं, लगभग 400 की संख्या में पिछले 10 वर्षों में विश्वविद्यालय खुले, IIM और IITs खुले, इस तरह के शिक्षण संस्थानों के माध्यम से इस देश के युवाओं में अपने भविष्य को लेकर एक उम्मीद नजर आती है, एक विश्वास, वो विश्वास जो संकल्प है माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय का, सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका प्रयास और सबका विश्वास। ये विश्वास आज इस देश को विकसित भारत की राह पर आगे बढ़ा रहा है और इसीलिए ये विकसित भारत की इस यात्रा में आज दिल्ली भी पूरे दिल से संकल्पों के साथ इसमें शामिल हो रही है इस रूप में। और ये डबल इंजन की सरकार इस दिल्ली शहर के और दिल्ली के राज्य में, क्षेत्र में रहने वाले हमारे लाखों परिवारों की उम्मीदों को साकार करने के लिए आज एक स्वर्णिम शुरुआत कर रही है। तो आइए इस कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत में आप सभी से निवेदन, हम सब अपने अपने स्थान पर खड़े रहते हुए राष्ट्रगान में शामिल हों। आप सभी से अनुरोध है, आप सभी अपने अपने स्थान पर बैठें, अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें। और अब मैं अनुरोध करूंगा राष्ट्रीय राजधानी क्षेत्र दिल्ली सरकार के मुख्य सचिव श्री धर्मेंद्र कुमार जी से शपथ ग्रहण की कार्रवाई आरंभ करने के लिए।
नमस्कार, मैं माननीय उपराज्यपाल महोदय से अनुरोध करता हूं कि वह मुझे शपथ ग्रहण समारोह को आरंभ करने की अनुमति प्रदान करें। मैं माननीय उपराज्यपाल महोदय से अनुरोध करता हूं कि वे गृह मंत्रालय भारत द्वारा जारी मुख्यमंत्री एवं मंत्रिपरिषद की नियुक्ति की अधिसूचना पढ़ने की अनुमति प्रदान करें। गृह मंत्रालय अधिसूचना, नई दिल्ली, 20 फरवरी 2025 का 891 श्रीमती राष्ट्रपति श्रीमती रेखा गुप्ता को उनके शपथ ग्रहण करने की तिथि से राष्ट्रीय राजधानी क्षेत्र दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में नियुक्त करती हैं। हस्ताक्षर प्रवीण कुमार राय, संयुक्त सचिव। अधिसूचना, नई दिल्ली, 20 फरवरी 2025 का 892 राष्ट्रपति मुख्यमंत्री की सलाह पर निम्नलिखित को राष्ट्रीय राजधानी क्षेत्र में अपने पदों के शपथ लेने की तिथि से मंत्री के रूप में नियुक्त करती हैं। 1, श्री प्रवेश साहिब सिंह। 2, श्री आशीष सूद। 3, श्री मनजिंदर सिंह सिरसा, 4 श्री रविंद्र इंद्राज सिंह, 5 श्री कपिल मिश्रा, 6 श्री पंकज कुमार सिंह। हस्ताक्षर प्रवीण कुमार राय, संयुक्त सचिव।